Hey guys, been a minute coming back to development, and today we are fusing a mantis and a grasshopper. Now luckily both of these bugs are actually similar in anatomy, so it's pretty easy to fuse them together, but it works perfectly for wanting me to have a long-range dashing enemy, which is the goal of this design experiment. So what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to start with some concept art where I kit bash the mantis and grasshopper anatomy together, kind of create a cohesive design for both creatures here. And then after we get done doing the concept art, we can start blocking out the creature. Now it's really important to get this part of the modeling process done properly, because the farther along we get in this development pipeline, it's really difficult to go back and modify after you do subdivisions. So after taking the time to put the concept art in and stencil over the geometry, we really get a good feel and realize the concept in 3D. One thing I love about hybridization is the context of world building, and where you can completely kit bash existing creatures in our world and redevelop them for your own designs. I guess for like lore or for storytelling, or maybe just because you want to make a cool bug. Speaking of world building, I've actually developed a small side game called MANTID Descent, where you do brain surgery on a mantoid that the human resistance has captured. Pretty early in development right now, there's only 4 tools, but if people actually like it, I'll develop it more into more advanced surgery style and lore, where you actually get to interact with different doctors and kind of peel back the skin of the mantoid race and kind of understand what their world is like. I'm definitely no stranger to fusing bugs. I've actually worked on 2 other designs recently. The other 2 fusions I've done are the Glowwig and the Stitch Wasp. I don't have a model for these yet. I'm still kind of developing what the actual game mechanics for these 2 creatures would be. I have some lore ideas, but I want to actually realize these concepts before I actually commit to making a model. So I'll throw the concept art on screen there, but I really like the idea of the Glowwig in particular. It came from a D&D session I did with some close friends and family a while back, so I like to integrate that as kind of a little nod to some other stuff I've done. For the Stitch Wasp, the main concept is that it's a good bug, actually. It's not one of the Mantis Queen's designs. It's actually developed by a completely different character, and it actually would assist you in some way. Unfortunately, I don't really know how to integrate that into the gameplay, so I might need to rehash how the creature is actually built just so that it's cohesive with the gameplay, but we'll see. While making this video, I was actually thinking about how there are other insect species very similar, actually related to grasshoppers, one in particular being the cricket. It'd be interesting to see a cricket variant of this particular enemy. Maybe the cricket ability would let it kind of do a high screeching violin kind of thing, how crickets use that to communicate with their mates, or maybe some kind of acoustic attack. Something for me to think on while developing variants of different enemies. What sets this apart from other enemies, it won't be strictly forced to be on navigation meshes. how the mantises and mantoids are. It would actually be jumping between fixed points or through moving points that would have a director for it. I also like the idea that it would be able to act as a hazard in certain areas where maybe you're trying to fly through with the dragonfly appendage, or maybe just be a obstacle for a parkour section. Kind of get to the point where you can see the model coming together and everything seems cohesive. And then the fun part is setting up the rigging. Now, one really cool thing I love about Blender is that you aren't forced to do mesh skin rigging. You can actually just attach game objects to individual bones, which is actually really easy for computers to do. So if you have a bunch of insect buggy parts that are just overlapping, you can make it look like a cohesive bug, even if there isn't any tissue actually connecting the points and flexing and causing other computational requirements that are kind of heavy on computer computation. One really cool thing about Blender is the inverse kinematics that they have built in, which is only done with a few key clicks if you know what you're doing. You can keep an entire character moving with only moving one bone, where all the foot IK components are actually moving without you having to do the constant like repositioning of every joint. I think it's mandatory for every developer to make their creature do some kind of dance after you finish the IK rig. Let me know if it's not just me. While it can be a little tedious, once you actually get the system set up properly, the results are wonderful because it makes your life easier. You just position one bone and the entire character moves to compensate for that position. Now this model only took me about 2 hours to do, which is significantly faster than if I had tried doing this about 3 years ago. So I feel like my advancement in the pipeline of making bug fusions has really advanced. If you guys like this video, give it a like and subscribe. We will be making more bug fusions in the future. I will be posting an update upon this creature's integration. See you guys in the next one.